Huh. Do I have any interest in watching the Double Fine documentary series? Not particularly. Hello, everybody. Not particularly. I mean, unless there's something in there that is supposed to be exceptionally interesting. But, you know, I've done game development. No, it's not that it's too close to home, Blackout. It's just, I've done, you know, I've had those experiences, so I'm not really that compelled to watch it behind the scenes. But I know those guys put out pretty good docs and behind the scenes stuff. So, you know, if you're interested, I will say I watch a lot more documentaries these days than I used to. As I get older, I like documentaries more. So I don't know, but tonight, welcome to the show, by the way. This isn't really a Gabbin' and Games. This is just a chill the fuck out stream. I've had the flu for the last 4 or 5 days. You know, it's fine. It's not like it was the worst thing in the world, but it kind of takes you out a little bit. And so I'm hoping to be back tomorrow with proper stuff, but we'll see. But tonight's whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to watch. I'm going to smoke some dope. I got food on the way. I guess it's Valentine's Day, but I have never been a Valentine's Day kind of guy. I find the whole holiday offensive as fuck. I just think it's the dumbest fucking holiday. And I think if you're a guy or a girl, and frankly, if your significant other has done anything special for this day because it's Valentine's Day, I would seriously consider having a talk with that individual and saying, hey, you know, why don't you celebrate me when the media and the marketing doesn't tell you to do it? It just seems so sheepish to me, you know, right? Darth Nugget says, if I had a girl, I'd cook her dinner and give her some flowers, but I don't. Yeah, well, again, why would you do it on today? Do that whenever you feel. It's almost like presents. I love giving presents, but giving them at specific times that the industry says this is when we need your money, I don't know, it just feels dumb. Yeah, Blackout, I got a short, he says, I got a short doc to send you. My wife is a filmmaker. Yes, you can put it on the Discord, but what's the subject? What's the subject amount? Onyx, oh man, the sleeping machine, the CPAP machine, fuck, man. It's, I mean, because I got the flu so close to it after starting to use it, I haven't been able to really benefit as much as I wanted to, but my God, I sleep all night. I've been dreaming like crazy. It's so nice to be back in the world of the fucking dreams, man. Blackjack says, Jaffe, the way you describe Valentine's Day and Christmas, that's every holiday. No, that's not true. That's not true. I think Thanksgiving, even though the original historical aspect of Thanksgiving certainly is worth discussing, debating, questioning, what it has morphed into, I think, is a wonderful holiday. Yes, you can spend a lot of money if you want to, but it's also about being together with loved ones and, you know what I mean, acknowledging what you're thankful for. But things like Valentine's Day, I mean, really, let's put it this way. Imagine being, let's take a woman, because I can relate to that as a guy, romancing a woman on today and doing the flower petal shit you see in the movies and filling the bathtub up and having candlelight and wine. And you're not just doing it. Like, who really, you know, most women I've dated would be like, oh my God, who's going to clean this up? But that said, you know, if you do it on a day where you're told you have to do it, I just imagine the woman would be like, well, I mean, like, if she's all like, oh my God, it's so, I'd be like, really? You're a moron. I don't want to go out with you anyway. Susanna Gray, she says, hey, It's way too commercialized. I'm single too, so maybe if I wasn't, I'd think different. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think you're a smart lass, Suzanne. Is that a bad word to call somebody a lass? I don't fucking know. Wanted Dead is getting trashed in reviews, called it. The interesting thing about Wanted Dead, the video game that just came out today, from which this very grenade is from, thank you to the publisher for sending it to me, is some of the reviews. I think Polygon put up a review, and Destructoid put up a review, and both of them actually made me really intrigued by it, because they were like, you know, it's really, it's bad, but it's got this energy to it that's just, you can't really deny it, but it doesn't mean it's a good fucking game. The problem is, I mean, again, you know, a company, you know, they make decisions for various reasons. I don't fucking know why, but in this case, $60? I mean, I could see them putting it out and really building a nice cult franchise, and maybe that will happen, but it, you know, at most 40, at best 30. But you're putting this out at $60. I mean, I only can imagine that they had to. I don't think they were sitting around going, you know, we got ourselves a $60 winner. Bukaki says, as an alpha male, I do nothing for my significant other on Valentine's Day. Okay. Well, the problem is with that statement, what is this music? Can you guys hear the music, or is it just me? Am I losing my mind? The problem is with that statement, Bukaki, is that unless you have acquired a blow-up doll that has really good AI, I don't think it knows when it's Valentine's Day. It might have like a program, like a clock, like the, you know, a Switch has a clock and it knows, oh, it's Christmas Day. But your doll probably, you know, you could tell it, oh, tomorrow it's Valentine's Day, and it's like November. It's not going to care. Awesome says, have I heard of Mad Max the video game? Have you played it? It's really underrated. Yeah, I have heard it. Heard of it. I own it. I hear it's great, but I just never get around to it because there's always something else to play. All last week, man, I was playing the all last week I was playing the Steam Next Fest games, right? And I'm still need to finish Dead Space Remake, which I love. I think I'm close to the end. I'm like chapter 10. And I still need to finish Hi-Fi Rush, which I think I'm almost close to. Chunky Jedi says, Jaffe, you're so cool. All the girly girls want you to play with their whirl. I don't know what that means. What's a whirl? I took a I was gathering news for the I Love the Weird next episode coming up, and I was looking at this one thing. It was like, hey, take this test to see if you're up to speed on all the new dating lingo, vocabulary. And I don't fucking know 99% of it. I'm just like, what is that? It's like when a girl does this, it's called this. And I'm like, I don't know. So maybe whirl means something and I just don't fucking know. I do, Masochist. I'm feeling better. I should be up to being able to do a real actual stream on game stuff tomorrow. Hello, Ready Player VR. What is this music? I need music, baby. I want something that has... I'm going to get... Here's... See, I've learned my lesson. I'm going to get high a little bit on this stream. But I have DoorDash coming. And I have to wait. Because if I don't wait and I get high, a lot of times they get very upset with me because... they're like, we're afraid of your dog. Can we leave it on the porch? And it's like, the thing doesn't say we can leave it on the porch. I'm just like, oh, I'm too high to help you. Yes, I'm doing total call-ins. The number's right up there at the top, 619-752-0548. I have no plans. I have no show plan. This is a chill thing. This is a chill thing. So it's kind of whatever you want to chat about. We can go to the internet. We can look at shit. Am I going to ask the DoorDash guy for a date? No. No, I don't date the male folk. I will tell you something, though. I've been using Instacart for groceries, like at Ralph's. And of course, I didn't say anything. You don't want to like do that to people who are working. But this woman the other day who dropped off my groceries, and I usually don't see them. I usually am just like, you can leave it there because the dog and all this shit. But for whatever reason, we made eye contact and had a moment. Oh my God. And I didn't say anything. I'm a classy fella, but I'm just like, what a fucking knockout this lady was. Good God. Shop for me any day. Darth Nugget says, I always worry the DoorDash person will be having a bad day and eat one of my French fries, so I refuse to use the service. Well, CR3D does DoorDash or Uber Eats from time to time. You should ask him if he ever eats people's food. But who cares if they eat one of your French fries? I mean, as long as you get enough, you feel you got what you paid for. Tyson's asking me, hey, Jaffe. What's up, Tyson? Would you prefer the Dead Space remake team to remake Dead Space 2 or do a brand new Deep Space? I mean, I would prefer them to do a brand new Deep Space because I think so much of what made Deep Space 2 great, a lot of that is reflected in the new one. And I like the story. I dig the story. I think it's cool. But I'm not like dying to be like, oh, I need the second one retold. But look, man, they're making Iron Man next right now. And I think that's great. I'm all in with this team. I forget what they made before, but it was really good. Dead Space is fucking fantastic. The remake's fantastic. So either way. But I'm very much looking forward to whatever they do next. I love the new Dead Space is the tits, baby. Hey there, look at that. We got Dunastar. Thank you for the super chat. Champion New Zealand. Oh, governor, I know. They say Dave sending love from Fantasyland, New Zealand. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Dunastar. Thank you for the support. Thank you for hanging out with us. What time is it in New Zealand? I listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm always honest with you, but, I don't know what kind of an empty nester I'm going to be when the kids are out of the house. I have a feeling that I'm not going to be one of these guys that wants to be that far away from my family. So, but on the off chance that I surprise myself, Ireland, New Zealand, Sweden, or New York. I know that's very different. I would love to move to one of those places. I don't romanticize them. Every place has their issues and problems and whatnot, but I really would love to take up a lot of people who are like, Jeffy, if you're so unhappy with America, why don't you leave? And I'm like, that's a good idea. I just might. I'm very jealous of Brendan John Romero. Jaffe, what age do you think? But thank you for the super chat, dude. What age do you think is right for marriage? Well, come on now. I mean, I don't really believe in marriage anymore. I don't think marriage makes any fucking sense. But if marriage was, it does. Marriage, why? I mean, what age? The age you get married is irrelevant. I mean, you're always going to grow. You're always going to be different. If you find a partner that you love and you want to spend a long time with them, maybe potentially even a lifelong amount of time with them, great. But you're not going to really ever know. So what's the point? Why even do it? Uwu says, I don't want to come to Sweden. Why? I mean, I think I do, but tell me I know it's kind of racist, but I'm probably white passing enough that I'd be okay. Not to say that that's acceptable, but thank you, Mark Arnold. We should get a place together, Jaffe. We can be hetero life mates. Bukaki, I would totally get a place with Bukaki. If we could just stream all the time, I would love to have like one of those streamer houses where everybody just lives together and all we do is stream and edit. I think that would just be the craziest. I don't know if I'd still want my own place I could go to, but I'd love to be a very regular fixture. And I think that would just be fun. I was a little too old. Streaming kind of really got started and I missed out when I was like single and not having kids and everything. But that would have been fun, man. Well, Look who shows up. Look who shows up. Don John says, Jaffe, new to the channel. Welcome, good sir. Just wanted to ask, and it's regarding God of War. I never understood why you aren't still involved. Did you sell the IP? Do you get royalties? No, I'm not involved. Well, I never owned the IP. It was a work for hire deal. I worked for Sony. I co-wrote it, directed it, lead designed it. It was my baby. It was a lot of people's babies, but certainly if anybody's baby, it was my baby. But I got paid wonderfully by Sony in terms of benefits and salary. They're a great company, and then ultimately they paid out great bonuses on God of War and all the games that did well. And there was never any assumption that it would be mine and I would be able to leave with it. So that's no. So I have nothing to do with it in any kind of legal financial sense. Why am I not still involved, though? I got bored and wanted to do other things. Maskista. Let's talk about that. It's a great topic. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. Jaffe, thoughts on the UFO Biden personally shot down? Well, okay, I will ignore. I'm waiting for my DoorDash. Come on, baby. Ooh, the order's been picked up. You guys, this is such good food. Oh, I would love to go to New York. I've been to New York, Last American Hero, only once. And the minute I got there, it felt like home. I adored it. Okay, so what I'll say, ignoring your swipe at Joe Biden, Jaffe, thoughts on the UFO Biden personally shot down. So my understanding is, obviously there was the weather balloon over North Carolina, South Carolina, whatever. We know what that was. Then there was one over Canada that Biden sent a jet in at the request, and I'm surprised Trudeau didn't just shoot it down. Maybe we were closer to shoot down. We shot another one down over, was it Montana? There's been like 2 or 3 since the weather balloon. My thoughts are, I believe in this shit in the same way I believe in religion, which is to say I'm atheist agnostic on it. Do I think maybe there are aliens? Yeah, probably there are aliens out there. Do I think these are that? I don't fucking know. Do I think it's beyond the government to do a psyops and allow us to be distracted by this when in essence they are testing new drones or new aircraft that, there's absolutely no way we're going to get to know. The only way we're really going to get to know if these are aliens is probably when the aliens decide, fuck you, governments of the world, we're going to make our presence known. But short of that, I don't, even the stuff like when you listen to pilots, what's being reported right now is some of the pilots were, we've heard the thing where they said there was no propulsion and it was metallic and it was, there was propulsion, but there was no sense of how it was propulsing. Okay. Is that true? Is that PR from the government to make us think, ooh, mystery, let's talk about this? And I just don't know. The value of the internet age and getting older is we know enough to know we don't know anything. But short of that, I don't know. When are you streaming Metroid Prime, says Old School Gamer? Oh, I love this one. This is such good pot. I don't know if I'm going to stream it. And here's why. I'm not even fucking with you. So I put out a joke tweet the other day about Metroid Prime. And I was just like, oh, I'm playing the first room and I can't get out of it because I'm just shooting every single polygon that I can make out. And someone's like, oh yeah, in Metroid Prime, you have to go into every room and scan it. And I'm just like, oh, Jesus. And I know I saw Gene Park today say that Metroid Prime is almost a near perfect game. I'm not opposed to it. But once I realized, oh, shit, that's the cadence of that game. It's just constantly, oh, maybe you didn't scan the right thing. I don't know if I'm going to play it. I played a shit ton of Metroidvanias over the last week on Steam Next Fest. I played some great ones. But maybe just pure Metroid, if you get rid of the Vania, it may just not be for me. I don't like that level of scrutiny every time I want to feel like I'm on a space adventure with Metroid. Every time I come into a room, it feels like people tell me I have to go to work. It's like, all right, you come into the room before you can enjoy the game, shoot everything. You want to feel like a space warrior? Cool, but do me a favor. Job one is make sure you scan everything first. Fuck you. It's almost it's kind of the the Metroid equivalent of managing my weapons in Breath of the Wild. It's like, it's okay to simulate a lot of things, but don't make me work for it. So there's my answer, old school gamers. I don't know, but probably not, because there's so much other shit to play. Thank you, Grape King, a lovely cheese pizza. No, I don't have a cheese pizza. I have noodles and fried rice coming from a Szechuan place, I think is. Kratos, thank you, buddy. Kratos says, I wanted to send a bunch of Valentine balloons to Jaffe, but I was afraid they would shoot it down. Probably would. I wonder, DA is talking about the UFOs. I wonder if it's some kind of provocation. You know, I don't know, because think about this. If it, the Chinese balloon, sure. But in this case, America didn't have to tell anybody about, or Canada, what was flying around. We could have shot it down and nobody would have been the wiser, right? So how much stuff do they not tell us all the time? And I'm not saying that like, see, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm saying it like, there's a reason they chose to reveal this data. And so if it was a provocation, why would they tell us? It's like, in that case, it would be more like if it was China and they knew it was China, shoot it fucking down, go to China and say, hey, we know what you're doing, knock it off. But why would you share that with the public? Like, I mean, I wonder if something like a mentalist or something could really sit, or a psychologist, and sit and go, okay, let me look at the behavior of what the government is doing as it relates to these unidentified objects up there. And in that, let me come up with a couple of profiles, psychological profiles of why the government is responding the way they are to this, because it is very weird, especially when it's not like it flew over Washington and everybody saw it and they had to do something. This was Montana and in the wilds of Alaska. Nobody fucking saw any of this shit. They could have done it and said nothing. Are you still open, says Donnie Johnny, to returning to the God of War universe? Do you get contacted for any insight? No. Am I open to it? Sure. I think in certain ways, but I respect what God of War has become. I loved God of War 2018. I thought God of War Ragnarok was amazingly made, wonderfully produced, wonderfully executed. I didn't really enjoy it that much. It's just a little too slow for me, right? Combat was great, by the way. But if they came back to me and said, hey, Jaffe, we're doing a God of War 2005 remaster remake with, Blue Point. Is that what they're called? The guys who do a lot of the great remakes. Would you like to sort of, sit in on the design meetings and be sort of a, honorary designer and, whatever? Yeah, sure. That'd be fun. But Kumar Jenkins says, who cares? Talking about the UFOs. Who cares? What do you mean? What do you mean? Who cares? I do. The world does. Because let's say we're taking it as what it is, which is, let's say, hey, these are aliens from outer space. Who cares? How amazing to know that there's life on other planets. If you're willing, it causes all kinds of things to shift and change in your mind and your perception about the universe. Your perception of, or your desire to question these people and say, what have you learned on your planet or on your asteroid or wherever you live? Let's compare notes if we're not trying to kill each other. What do you know about the meaning of life and God and what happens when we die, and how did we get here? And here are all of our philosophical and religious texts. Let's trade. And let's see where we agree. One sec, fellas. When you say who cares, man, I think the better question is, why would you stop care? Why would you not care? Right? Jaffe, have you read Microsoft admitting Game Pass is cannibalizing game sales? You know, sure. But, hang on. But I mean, I made a video about it. It's like, well, sure, I read it, but no shit. The only thing you can really attack Microsoft on, in my opinion, are the people who believe, you know, if a CEO is on a earnings call, I think legally, right, they have a responsibility to be honest. But short of that, it's spin, it's PR. So have there been certain games that have benefited from being on Game Pass at a sales level? Yes, of course. Descenders was sort of the poster boy for a long time. I think Forza might have been one. Hi-Fi Rush may be one, but I don't think... hang on. They're always so scared of my dog. But, you know, of course that, sorry about that, fellas. Of course, the sales have been cannibalized, but I think it comes with the territory. You don't, no shit. So if you want to be mad at Phil Spencer because he's a CEO that lies to the consumer, okay, I guess, but welcome to capitalism. But if you're talking more specifically about it meaning anything more than that, I don't know why it's gotten as much news as it has, frankly. Old School Gamer says, why have you stopped reviewing the Last of Us show episodes? I'm going to go back to it and catch up. I was sick and I wasn't really watching anything. I was playing a bunch of Steam Next Fest games and that was it. Will I watch the Flash movie at the theater? I think it absolutely depends on the reviews of it. Like, I was going to watch Ant-Man at the theater, and then I read the reviews today, and I'm like, I'll wait for it to come to Disney+. Hey, it's Jaffe. What's up?
Hey, Jaffe. So I was recently...
Wait, hang on. I got to pause the music, and I got to bring your audio up because nobody can hear you. All right, what's up, buddy?
Oh. Hey, so I was just recently playing the new Need for Speed Unbound game, and while I was playing it, I just finished the story, and while I was playing it, I was thinking of something I've heard you say before, because a lot of people ask you, you know, what would you do to, you know, revitalize Twisted Metal, and I've heard you say, oh, well, you know, I don't really know of what could be done to bring that kind of genre up to, like, modern standards, you know? And after playing through the new Need for Speed, I kind of have the same sentiment about that game franchise. You know, I haven't played them all, but I've played a lot of them. And, you know, after going through the story, it's just like, okay, well, that was fun. And there wasn't really a lot to, like, you know, keep you captivating after you finish it. And I'm wondering if you think that's going to be, do you think that's going to be another issue kind of with the new Twisted Metal game? Are they going to have a hard time kind of having that, like, stick factor?
Sure, 100%. I mean, I don't, you know, it really depends on what they do with it. If they say, we're not going to spend a great deal of money, we're going to make a multiplayer only title, and it is going to be free to play, and we've added some stuff that we think will make it sticky, I think that's the smart play. I think anything beyond that they spend money on is, you know, not to say because I can't think of it, there's no answer, but trust me, I've had, since Twisted Metal Black, we've been trying to figure out how to build a better mousetrap. And frankly, you know, the audience has moved on. It's, you know, if you look at games abstractly, which at a design level is how you should look at them, what is Twisted Metal other than a gimped, for, you know, third-person shooter where your character can't do 90% of the things that characters in other third-person shooters can do? Right? I mean, it's like you can't strafe, you can't jump really, you can't climb. It takes a while to accelerate forwards and backwards. And so at that point, you're like, you got to build a game around those limitations, and someone's got to show up that's smart enough to be able to say, these fundamental limitations of being in a vehicle with combat and projectile weapons primarily lead to some really compelling gameplay decisions. But I'm not. Trust me, if I was smart enough to figure it out, I would have. I don't know who's developing the new game. I know they are developing a new game. So, look, I definitely think there are some designers, David Sears being one of them. I don't know if he's working on it, but he's the kind of guy, if they said David Sears is working on the new Twisted Metal, I'd say, okay, that has a shot in hell. It's still not a good shot, but it's got a shot. That's what I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
All right, buddy. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the call.
All right, you too, man.
All right, man. Meskis says, let's be honest here, fellas. Let's stop lying to each other. Sony's terrified of Game Pass. Yeah, of course they should be. But hopefully there are, I don't mean to be ageist, but hopefully there are younger, more driven people at Sony that look at it and go, I didn't come up with brick and mortar as the base for my education of this industry. And we can use this. We can compete. We can dominate. Instead, yeah, I think right now they're scaredy cat McGee's, baby. Hang on, let me answer that phone. Where does my thing go? I'm sorry, I will answer your call. I didn't mean to not answer it, but what ends up weird and happening is sometimes when the phone comes through, I can't find the thing I'm supposed to press to... Oh, I know why. Now I got it. You can call back if you want. Hello? What the fuck was that? Darth Nugget says, Sony has no reason to be terrified at this moment. Stop lying. Well, that's no offense, Darth Nugget, but that's spoken like someone who, really should never be in charge of any kind of business. And I say this as a guy who's been in charge of two businesses and they both failed. So I can, recognize as like. What I can tell you is that right now is exactly when they should be worried, because the ground is shifting. The landscape of games and success is changing. And yes, they're in the driver's seat right now, which is great for them. But, if you're not thinking 3 steps ahead, you can best believe the competition is. And you can best believe that's what Microsoft's trying to do. One of the things I think is really funny a lot of times is when people kind of come at Microsoft and attack Game Pass. They're like, Game Pass was just this thing born out of desperation. So? You know how much, what is the saying? Necessity is the mother of invention. You know how many times we've had innovation and creativity that's come because there have been limitations? But, I don't have to tell you about that. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, though. I'm going to run and pick up my food, which is down the hall to the door. And then I'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay? And I'm going to eat on the stream, and I'm going to smoke on the stream. This is not a proper show. We're just hanging out and eating dinner and fucking around. So if you don't come at me like, mukbang. No, I'm just eating. I'll be right back. My dog. when the phone rings, I figured it out now. So I'll get it turned back on. It's what does it mean? All it means is I didn't know where the button was, and now I know where the button is. Hang on, fellas. Hello, Draft. Life is good. Were you taking blinkers? I don't know what a blinker is, man. You know what I wonder about? Oh, so good. I wonder if God damn it, Jaffe, let's watch something while I'm eating. What should we watch? I wonder if the who knows what I was saying. What can I put on while I eat real quick, and then we'll get back to... We can talk while it's on. Come on now. I don't care if we get demonetized. So if you want to watch a trailer, baby, I'm here for you. But I got to eat, man. Why do you never talk about your film career? I never had a film career. I made movies as a kid, and a high school student, college student. I went out to L.A., to get a degree in film. I never got into the film school, but I got into the USC. And then while I was selling TV shows that never got made, but I did sell about 3 TV shows, I started working at Sony and was off to the fucking races. Okay, let's just watch some shit. Let me put this on for us. Hang on. Okay, here we go. Let's see the YouTube. I'm at that place where I'm not going to smoke any more pot at the moment because I'm just high enough. Oh, the Flash trailer was great. Let's watch that. I'm just high enough that I'm digging the high, but I can still be, relatively present. Titan Quest. Yeah, I remember that from back in the day. Yeah. People are asking, they're like, why do you have Megan Fox on your thing? Why? Because she's Megan Fox. And I just figured it has nothing to do with what we're talking about, so why not put it up? You want to, the kind of movies I made as a kid? They were horrible. Hang on. My brother just put some of them up on his YouTube. Hang on. Let me see if I can, I keep needing to go back and edit them because, they're so stupid. But let's see. This was a movie. Here we go. Okay, we'll put on the Flash, but let me show you this first. Hang on. And I won't play this for more than 2 minutes. I just want to show you. This was a movie called Indicora, and this was the big climax. And you can tell. And here I am yelling.
Okay, light them. I can't now. The wind's in my face. Light them.
I'm yelling at I'm such a tyrant on set.
Light them.
And it's about these guys who go into this like magic world that is in a book. It was so dumb. And you can't even hear it.
Use that lighter. Oh, go home. Alright, wait, I'm lighting. Behind the pole, Michael.
This was 1985 or 85. That's my buddy Kerry. Still friends to this day. This was he was the bad guy, and he this is where he dies, and he vanishes in the smoke. Right, that was our big effect shot. And he's holding his breath, but I like how the camera reveals the fucking smoke bumps. Let's see, where am I? Here I am. Here's my brilliant directing. Come on now. Come on now.
There's no one there. You're off here, and you stop here, and he walks down the steps. You come down here.
Shouldn't this be
Can
under?
you see me down over there?
David,
Okay.
shouldn't this be under? Shouldn't it be right under a basketball?
I can see you from your knees up.
And that guy is Jay. Jay actually went on to become a real film director. So he's like, shouldn't it do this? Shouldn't it do this? And I'm just like ignoring him. It is better than The Room. Where can you get this? I think I'm going to edit this together and turn it into an actual, like put some subtitles in so you can understand the dialogue. Let me see if I have the big effect shot. Let's see. This guy is trying to prove to them. I'm not going to show. I'll edit it together and I'll show it to you. It's stupid. Jeff, you met Spielberg. You never asked him, do I want to join as an AD? Why would I want to be an assistant director? I've never understood that. Even people who are like, go into movies and, if you want to be a PA because you want to make connections and stuff, great. But the only way to get to be a film director is to direct films and make your own shit and have people hire you. There's no like, this guy's an okay director, but he studied under. Nobody gives a shit. Eddie, you want to be assistant director? He says, no. Let's watch the Flash trailer. That was good. I didn't really expect much, and you guys know. I mean, this is the company that fucking shut down This Is Us. The show This Is Us. Yeah, that's the show, right, about the family, and one of the kids is adopted, and that thing, it was like a big hit. Like Mandy Moore was in it. I watched a few episodes, never really connected with me. Have you, what's the last game you really loved? Probably Dead Space remake. And then the last game I played that was a demo, which wasn't a full game, was Nocturnal, which is on Steam right now, and it's just delightfully good. But there's a lot of good stuff. But yeah, it's weird because you would think they'd want to bury this movie because of all the controversy with what the guy's name, the actor. But apparently it's really fucking good is what I've been hearing. And so they're like, okay, we have morals. But this, by the way, let this be a lesson to all you people out there that are always like, everything's gone woke and Disney's woke. And no, they're not. Disney's trying to make money. And they have been trained by the population that right now, the way to make money is to do X, Y, and Z, which some of you people call woke. But ask yourself, if these guys were really woke, this movie would never see the light of day. But this is how woke they are. They're going, this is fucking great, and it's cash cow, and the number of people who give a fuck about what Ezra Miller does in his personal life, as long as he hasn't, like, diddled some children, we're good to go. So, there is no woke. It's just a bullshit boogeyman. Point being, though, when this trailer first came on the other day, I was like, well, I love The Flash. I love the Flash TV show. But I'm so tired of hearing his origin story. But relatively quickly, this got me interested. Watch this fucking thing. This is pretty good stuff.
Tell me something. You can go anywhere. Another timeline. Another universe. So why do you want to stay?
Benji, I'll ask me after the show, the trailer.
Because this is the world where my mom lives. I'm not going to lose her again. Time has a pattern that it can't help reliving. Different people, different worlds, drawn to each other like magnets. It's my face. You stole my face.
If you were to go into the past, you have no idea what the consequences can be. Bruce, I could fix things. You could also destroy everything.
This can't be happening. I completely broke the universe.
Zod, we've been waiting for you.
I created a world with no metahumans. And now there's no one to defend us.
Want some help?
Oh. You are?
Yeah. I'm Batman.
If I can't undo what I did, if I can't get back, there might not be a future. What's the play? Batman, what do we do?
We try not to die.
It's not Clark.
My name is Kara.
I'm Barry. We're Barry. Barry, what are you doing? Our kids are gonna want to see this.
Come on now. Come on now. I think that's great. But again, like I was saying a minute ago, I am going to wait until the reviews. Like somebody was like, why don't you go see Ant-Man in the theater? And I'm like, because it's sitting at a fucking 53. And that doesn't mean I won't love it when it comes out. But if the movie, you know, a lot of people are, you know, I'll read some of the reviews of people I trust. But, you know, time is valuable. Money is valuable. My focus is valuable. You know, unless people are like, dude, no, the reviews got it wrong, it's fucking awesome. Then I'll see it. Otherwise, why not wait? I can wait 6 weeks. Why not? Same with this. The only one I'm going day one to see is you know, Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny. I'll be there day one. But as for Supergirl, you know, here's the real problem with a lot of people that get upset with casting. I own it. I love Supergirl when she's blonde, when she's girl next door / California surfer babe. I love her because I'm a fucker. That's truth. Just say that. Just fucking come out and say it. Don't try to, now you see the lore. Fuck you. You want to fuck her and now you don't because they cast an actor or an actress that you're not into. That's fine. Just fucking own that shit. But yeah, I don't, this new Supergirl's like, I don't like her costume. She's too young. And also, yeah, she's not blonde, man. But I heard Puss in Boots is great. Ant-Man is a C-class hero. Yeah, but the first Ant-Man was pretty good. I mean, there's always some good stuff in it. I don't think it's going to be a piece of shit. But, you know, they had said that this was really going to kick off the Kang shit, which it will. I don't know. I mean, I love Marvel, so I'll see it, but, you know. As to the woke thing, you guys were asking, or somebody was asking about that Gina Carano woman. Look, man, the deal on that is, for whatever reason, Disney felt that the PR value of firing her and responding was worth it. The fact of the matter is that they did it to Roseanne. I mean, they lost a lot of money there. They might have a regret over that. I don't fucking know. But these companies aren't woke. These are companies. Ben & Jerry's is a woke company. That's pretty much it. Do you think we'll ever get the Bill Cosby Netflix special? Well, Bill Cosby is going back on tour, if you can believe that shit. So I'm sure he's going to make a deal with somebody. I mean, think about that. I mean, that's another good example. If Bill Cosby goes on tour, which he is, and he doesn't, redeem himself in the eyes of most people who think he's very guilty, then Netflix, for example, would have a real interesting choice to make. It's not a moral dilemma for them, though. It's a dilemma of, okay, financially speaking, do we pull the trigger on this and put it on the show on Netflix because we know it will be good for business, even though we'll lose people subscriber-wise. But, that's why the whole woke thing bugs me. There are very few companies that are actually woke. Certainly not Disney. But anyway. Oh my God, it's so good. Chinese food, man. Chinese food, man. Good stuff. Anyway, if somebody paid you $1 million, would you go sit front row with Bobby Kotick at the next Cosby Show? Yeah, 100%. Why not? Absolutely. Why would you ask that? Why would you ask that as if that was some kind of challenge for me to answer? Of course I would. I don't agree with you, by the way, DA, that there are definitely too many superhero movies. There are movies. I mean, seriously, the problem is, look, if I may be cranky old man, there's a lot of movies people don't give chances to. I have, and let me tell you something. I don't know the best way to articulate it. Maybe it's one of those things that people complain, but it's one of those complaints that people just enjoy complaining about it and leave them be. They're not really looking to engage in a conversation or to be pleasantly convinced that they're not accurate. Same thing in video games. People saying, oh, there's no creativity. It's all cookie cutter. Well, if all you do is go out to the movies, to the big tent movies that they put out every summer and whatnot, sure, there's too many superhero movies. If all you do is play the AAA console games from first party and every now and then third party, sure, it's all cookie cutter. But both industries right now are thriving when it comes to innovation and chance taking on the AA and indie space scene. I mean, there have been some really fucking clever movies recently. I don't know what people mean. But they probably mean this. They probably mean, if I go down to like the multiplex. Well, yeah, those days are over. When that was a big thing, which sucks. It's hard to believe that those days are over. When I was a kid, I never would have believed that. Did I see the movie ticket price change? Well, I did see that AMC was suggesting a new plan that will allow you to pay for better seats. Okay, I mean, if you want to. I don't even know what the fuck that even means, better seats. I mean, ultimately, if you go to most movies today, they are reserve seats that you get in advance anyway. Now they're like, oh, these seats that you can reserve are even more expensive. I mean, sure, whatever, but chances are I'm not going to the theater. Why go to the theater? Right? I mean, they've really fucked themselves, and it's, good for them. I like when companies sort of fuck themselves and either go out of business or have to kind of, figure out a new way to do it to bring people back. But they charge way too much for concessions, and I get it. And I know why they do it, because they don't make a lot on the ticket prices, but that's not my problem. But when you're spending $5.95 on a fucking, large soda and $12.95 on a large popcorn, and that's just for like that, then you got other family members and kids who want different things, go fuck yourself. I don't see how they can act surprised. It is nice to go to a theater. It's nice to go to a big movie event, but those are fewer and farther between. I'm not a hermit. I like going out, but you got to give me a reason to go out. Dill's Room says those are 2010. Those are rookie numbers, 2010 prices. Really? Well, okay. What does a large popcorn cost these days? The last movie I went to was probably Little Women. in 2019. Me and the family went at Christmas time. And then the pandemic hit, and I haven't been back. Cyclone says Top Gun was fun with the good sound and big screen. I'm sure it was, but I didn't watch it until about a month ago, just on my screen in the living room, and it was fucking awesome. So, you know, whatever. I went to one of those. I saw Force Awakens with this girl. I mention her because she was the voice of some of the characters in Drawn to Death. We went to see. We had both already seen it, but we were big Star Wars fans. And we went to see Force Awakens, and she said, let's go to the theater that has like all the moving seats and shit. And I had never been to a theater that did that, except like, you know, theme parks and stuff, but not like a full-on movie. And it was kind of cool, but after 10 minutes, you're like, okay, it's either a good story or it's not. Mr. Jaffe, do you hate Christianity? That's a hard question to answer. Do I hate? I don't hate. There are very few people I would say that I hate. I find religion troubling for a large number of reasons, but I also respect the fact that for a lot of people, religion brings them great comfort. You know, and I don't want people, life's really hard. I get why there are people who, like if somebody were to pull me aside and say, look, it's not better or worse, because they have found in people's brains, they have found part of the brain that lights up related to spiritual experiences and things like that. Okay, let's say that whether it's real or not real, this is relevant. Let's say they were to say, Jaffe, look, there are people who are born with that part of the brain and people who are not. And you hating on people that have it and thinking that you're higher and mightier because you don't, just be aware of that. And I'd say, oh yeah, I couldn't do that. But for me personally, I do look at religion in general and I see more problems than it creates. And I think we are absolutely stunted because, we're taking longer than it needs to move on away from religion and sort of get into sort of what comes next. So, but I don't hate Christians. I don't hate Christianity, but I certainly worry about religion. Morgan says organized religion is awful. That's the issue with religion. If folks keep it small, it wouldn't have as many issues. I don't even know, for me, if it's about keeping it small. I think it's just, what's so wrong with saying we don't know? What's so wrong with just learning how to get comfortable with the chaos? Learning how to get comfortable with the lack of knowledge about what is happening in the world. I think there's value there. I think that allows us to do new things and grow and learn. The bigger problem with religion, though, is just the fact that the people at the top, it's just, they don't care. It's power. It's a mechanism. It is a lever for controlling people so they can keep people in line and they can keep making the money. I mean, that's the real truth. I'm not saying religion is true or false, but I'm saying that's the biggest problem with religion, is that it's used as a fucking weapon. Very few people learn how to get comfortable. They go to the preacher or the psychiatrist. Yeah, I mean, look, there's a couple of things. I mean, I don't want to get into it. We can talk games and movies and shit, but there's a couple of things that if it were me and I was in charge, can you imagine what scenario would exist where I was put in charge of the public school system in America? But let's just, play pretend for a moment. Hell, the woman that Trump put in charge, Betsy DeVos, I'm sure if she can get in, anybody could. But if I was in charge, I would say media literacy is a must. That should replace a number of, topics in the curriculum. I would say financial literacy is a must. The fact that we have most people in America on debt and don't really even understand it, that's a must. Now, again, public school doesn't want you to know this. Public school exists so it'll churn out workers for the factories and whatnot. But if I was in charge of it, And then the other thing would be meditation. And you can't even say meditation in some parts of the country because people associate it with religion or demons or whatever. And meditation doesn't have to have any. My version of meditation, how I learned it, there was nothing religious about it. You didn't have to believe in Buddhism or any of that shit. It was just here's a technique, and that's how you get comfortable as much as you can within reason. Morgan says the psychiatrist is what helps people get comfortable. I think he means, well, not really. I know what you both mean. I think, Morgan, correct me if I'm wrong, I think what you mean is a psychologist. Psychiatrists certainly will help you if you need medicine. But I imagine a lot of people get on the medicine and then they just don't deal with their actual issues. But religion makes universal values proprietary to faith. But I don't even understand that, Mark Arnold. I'm just like, the number of people who have said to me when I've discussed religion with them, it's like, well, without God or without religion, how would you? I mean, I know this sounds like I'm cherry picking a cliched line that you've probably heard over and over, but this happens. This happens when you discuss religion. There are people out there, and this is, again, this is one of the reasons it becomes so inflammatory, is because people who don't think this way, it's hard to imagine other people that are still bright humans thinking this way, which is when they say things like, well, if you don't have religion, how would you know to do good? And for me, my answer has always been, I don't know, because either I inherently know, or I was raised by a dad who taught me that and a mom who taught me that. I don't need it to be wrapped in the narrative of religion. But anyway, whatever. If you're, look, man, if you're religious, great, go for it. None of us know what the hell just happened to my screen. None of us know what happens. My dad wasn't religious. Well, so my dad was Jewish. My mom was Southern Baptist, and she converted to Judaism to get married to my dad. And my dad's family was very Jewish. He was more of a questioner. He loved the tradition of it. He loved the nostalgia of it, going to temple and things like that. But we would always sit out on the porch and talk about what happens after you die and is there a God? And, so he wasn't religious like, oh, this is the answer. I don't know. Dill's Room says, I think part of the human experience is realizing how small humans are, and that can open the door to spirituality, but shouldn't open the door to organized religion. Even that, though, I don't know if that's true. I don't fucking know if that's true. That is kind of you may be right, by the way. I'm just saying that is a very tropey thing. It's like, oh, we're so small in the universe. Maybe we are. There's also people who think that we're all just consciousness. We're all part of the same fucking thing. I don't fucking know. I believe that feels more likely. Incredible Leaf says, I actually have industry leaders teach at school. People with a clue about the industry. Yeah, but again, I said public school, right? I mean, public school really is not designed to make you smart. It is designed to make you compliant. Which is probably why when you do have a good teacher that teaches you free thinking, you never forget them. Because it's such a fucking drink of water in a fucking desert. So, it is what it is, I suppose. But I don't know. See what happens. I'm not afraid of dying. I'm not afraid. Here's what I hope, right? I hope I live for a little while. Well, talk about whatever you want. Ask me questions. We don't have to talk about this. This is what you asked about. What I was going to tell you is, fuck. Roy says, how will the system fail? What system? Denova says, what's with the balloons? Well, we've only identified one balloon, right? Which is the one that we shot down, actually two, that we shot down over South Carolina. everything else, they haven't said that they're a balloon. My brother is homeschooling his son, and some family members think it's crazy and that he should put him in public school. Okay. What do I care? I mean, I don't mean that disrespectfully, masochistic, but I mean that in more of a sense of like, if your brother's smart and he understands your son, great. If your brother's like a fucking religious nut and he wants to teach, your nephew that Comet Hale-Bopp is coming and he needs to buy some Nikes, then there's a problem. So I don't think anything's fundamentally wrong with that. I think a parent that can recognize problems with public school for their children. My ex and I say all the time that we should have taken both of our kids out of public school and putting them and found something different for them. Public school helps kids develop necessary social skills. Yeah, a lot of things do. Put them on a baseball team, a softball team. Have them join, after school clubs, homeschool with friends so they go on field trips. It's not a valid criticism of the homeschooling experience. Somebody's asking what I've been reading. I'll show you. I just finished this. This is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, which is about video game. It's fiction, but it's about video game development. It's won a bunch of awards. It's quite good. About this guy and girl who've known each other their whole lives, and they open a video game company, and it's really it's kind of sad and kind of interesting and kind of unique and blah blah blah. And then I just started this book. One of my probably my favorite science fiction authors is Blake Crouch. He has his new book Upgrade that I just started reading. His last two books, if you're looking for fucking awesome mind-bending shit. One is called Dark Matter, and the other one was called, what was the other one he wrote recently? Recursion. I'll tell you what, man, those are some mind-trippy, good fucking books. So that's what I'm reading right now. What was your first ever computer game you remember playing? Well, okay, computer or video game? My first video game was Boot Hill. My first computer game, I don't know, is probably something at the mall, like on we had the Atari and all that shit, but probably the TRS-80 or something at Radio Shack was probably something like, Polaris or something. But yeah, we were playing games from the minute they were invented, for the most part. You think the thing up in the sky is a spaceship? I mean, I don't know. Recursion you were iffy on. Interesting. Oh God, Roy. I don't know what happened. Roy's asking what happened to the Atari Game Company. I don't fucking know. I gotta tell you, man, it's heartbreaking. It's like, really what happened is it got sold to people who didn't know what they were doing, who don't know how to, at this point, the Atari brand is a nostalgia play only. There aren't people out there, and I loved the Atari 50 anniversary that just came out. It was wonderful. But short of just sort of nostalgia and sort of historical value, there's not many people walking around going, man, I sure can't wait to play an update of Missile Command, right? And so I think you either, call it Atari, but make a brand new game company and just it happens to have a nice history with the name, or you just go hardcore nostalgia and make that your play. But what they've been doing, trying to update games and make cell phone versions of, whatever asteroids, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, man. It's crazy. Dark Matter was entertaining. I'm trying to remember. So which was the one about the chair? That was Recursion. And then Dark Matter was about the multiverses, right? The alternate universes. I thought they were both delightfully cool. I loved them both. The new one is about sort of gene altering, gene splicing, all that stuff. But I'm only literally like 4 pages into it. Is all I've read. I'm gonna tell you something, Alex. Alex says, Jaffe, watch the Fast X trailer. I'll put it on. I've already seen it, but I'll put it on and go get some more food. I'll be right back. But I want to tell you something about this trailer that Alex is talking about, the Fast 10 trailer. Hang on, let me pull it up. because it really is kind of annoying. And it relates to Indiana Jones's new trailer, which I, for the most part, thought was fantastic. Okay. Hello, Cantankerous. Okay. I will be back in 2 seconds, but in the meantime, this will play, and we'll talk about this on the other side of the video. 1 second. Okay. Okay, back in a sec.
I know that this road has been very hard. And yet here you are, building this magnificent family.
What's going on in that head of yours?
Something little B said it. He said, Dad, you're not afraid of anything. But I am. I'm afraid of losing someone I love.
Dominic Toretto, you're about to learn all about fear. Boom! You built such a beautiful life, filled with love and family.
I never got that chance.
You stole that from me. My future. My family.
And now,
I'm gonna break yours. Piece by piece.
Let's ride, let's ride, let's ride, let's ride.
He's coming for you with everything.
What's the plan, Dom?
I'm not sure anymore.
One of us might not come back from this. But we have to fight.
Never accept death when suffering is owed.
Armed and dangerous. Ain't too many can bang with us. Label us notorious.
It's a setup.
He's trying to tear us apart.
Our situation is fight one. What you gonna do? Fight or run?
Winning used to be about winning. We raced for respect. Today, I raced to stop the bloodbath.
That's the problem with having such a big family. How do you choose the ones you save?
Let's race. Ain't too many can bang with us. Label us notorious, notorious, notorious.
You still know how to drive? What do you think?
It's showtime.
Here we go!
Game recognizes game.
I'm coming for you, son.
Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride.
Here they come.
You will never be able to break my family.
Sunshine.
You gotta be kidding me.
Okay, so look. I don't give a fuck what people say. Those are good movies. They are fun movies. I dig the Fast and the Furious motion picture shows. They're good. I'm not going out to the theater to fucking see it. But the idea that people poo-poo these, I'm just like, come on, man. They're the best stunts in the business right now. Super creative stunts. Over the top as fuck. But that's what you want. The reason this is interesting to me. What do you mean start a new stream? Oh no, did they take the stream down? Did the stream end?